actually been 6 months since I spoke about this topic on my channel, which is absolutely wild to say, but we finally got a follow-up when it comes to the for rent save file issues. If you didn't know about this bug, basically some simmers were noticing that things were disappearing slowly over time in their save files, be it like items in their houses, trees. Saves were basically eating themselves is like the most common way that people have been explaining this, and it has been apparently a bug for like years and years, but sometimes it like comes to the surface more, and it felt that for rent was really speeding this up because of the number of items that you could have in a save, which means I have been walking on a tightrope for the last 6 months, especially as someone who is taking part in the all collections challenge and therefore has an awful lot of items both on my lot and in my Sims inventory. I have been so scared that my save file is just gonna start disintegrating at any point. Luckily for me, I don't know what like the Sims overlord has over me, but they've been looking out for me because luckily I haven't been affected. However, I kind of knew that this was gonna take time. Bugs, especially when it's hard for them to like recreate, and this one seemed like so few and far between and had so many different ways of affecting someone's game. It was obviously gonna take a while for them to kind of like try and even get save files and test these and see if they could replicate it, because they pretty much have to replicate the bugs and the glitches to then be able to like get to the bottom of it and fix it. However, they have actually spoken about this. They posted about it over on their Sims Discord. I know I say it all the time. I wish there wasn't so many avenues of Sims news and where you could actually find Sims news. I wish they just like collated it in a very easy space. Right now, it feels like Discord is the place for that. They still do post on Twitter over on like their Sims Direct. I will actually leave a link because I'm fairly sure it's public to their Twitter, to their Discord down below, because that I would say right now is probably the best place to get your news. Even if you just like mute every other channel and you're like, just give me the announcements, which there is also something else coming to the Discord that I do want to talk about because I do think it's going to interest you. But on to what they have said about the for rent save eating error glitch. We've received questions from players with concerns about the for rent expansion and save file issues in Sims 4. Today, we're sharing a detailed update on this, but here's the quick TLDR. Too long, did not read. We've fixed 29 community reported issues. 29 only. We're currently 37 under investigation, with 11 requiring more info from players. Basically what they mean by this is they're kind of waiting for those players to tell them if they've turned off like their mods and custom content and then tested it. They've also probably asked them for like their save files, etc. 2 of those issues are related to save file concerns, with a combined total of 222 votes from players. We have a partial fix currently identified for the issue with the most votes, and we'll share updates as we have them. Save files issues more broadly, we're currently aware of 6 issues that players correlate with save corruption. Our investigation showed this is a complex situation, not a single bug, and given the huge variance in devices, setups, packs, and other factors, will continue to require thorough investigation by our team. Committed to tackling this, and any detailed report players can share with us will really help us progress throughout this. I even had issues with Dream Home Decorator when it first came out, and I was actually speaking to someone at EA because I had them in the early access, like in my game, and they couldn't replicate it in their game. Like, it took a while for them to see it like actually show up, and then when it did, they were like, oh, I've got it now, like I see what the issue is. And that was just like one person, you know, with like all the same packs as each other, but because we were playing on different devices, it took a while for that to kind of occur for that person. So that is how in depth they kind of have to get with it, and that's why these issues take so long to resolve sometimes. I think more so when it's not like a really widespread issue, which of course this is very serious, and I feel so sorry for players who may have lost saves throughout this, or even just like parts of saves throughout this. but I understand the variance and like how much that can affect how quickly they can get this resolved. If you're experiencing a serious issue with your game, please use this post as an easy way to report the issue by answering the questions outlined. So they're trying to make it as like seamless as possible for people to give them the information that they need. You can read the full update here, which we will be getting into. And then this is the other part of this that I wanted to talk about because I know people are going to be interested in this. We're also launching a new feedback section here on Discord August 27th. I just want to give my love and my thoughts and my peace, honestly, to the people who may be moderating this. Truly, it will be interesting to see like how long this lasts, but I'm actually uploading this video after this has gone live, so you can continue to help shape the future of The Sims. We'd love to hear your thoughts, take part in upcoming surveys, which obviously we have already seen that there are like upcoming surveys. We've been served surveys quite recently. We've got like 2 in the past couple of weeks, and join the conversation with our team and your fellow simmers. And then this is the post that the TLDR was taken from. We've received questions about the For Rent expansion. We're currently investigating current issues with The Sims 4 that might impact saves, how we prevent issues before release, and what to do if you're experiencing serious issues. Nothing is more important to us than the performance of our game and players' enjoyment of it. I will want to just say here as well, thank you all so much for like your comments on my video that I did last weekend. I always feel like nervous to kind of upload those types of videos where I'm kind of just giving my opinions and like thoughts and feelings, because I know not everyone is going to agree with me, and I don't even make the videos to like have people agree with me, but I also don't make those videos to, you know, like get involved in like arguments or like try and fight my corner in the comments. I really upload those types of videos to kind of just give like how I'm feeling. Like, I'm a simmer at my core. Yes, I have a channel. Yes, I make content on the game, but you know, my content that I make also very heavily relies on like how much enjoyment I'm getting out of the game and like what issues I currently have with the game or don't have with the game. So I really enjoy sometimes just getting to sit down and like talk about where I'm at with the game and like basically touch bases with you all. And I felt like it was really incoherent, but a lot of you have been like, yeah, like everything you've just said is an echo of everything that I've been feeling. And again, I don't make those videos to like make you guys agree with me or anything like that, because we all play our games so differently. But yeah, I just really wanted to thank you all for being really nice in the comments. I've only had to delete like a handful of comments that have practically just been like throwing insults at the development team, because I'm always here like, you know what, insults aren't going to get you anywhere. Like, you think they're going to fix your game if you're here calling them every name under the sun? Absolutely not. Why would they? I would literally just be like, go fix it yourselves. Learn to code and then get back to me. But yeah, so many of you have been lovely. So I just wanted to kind of throw that in, because I know that was kind of about like the enjoyment of my game personally. We've discovered this is not a single bug, given complex variants and devices, blah, blah, blah. That's what we just heard. 26 issues currently being investigated. 11 issues require more info. Lot houses disappear in saves featuring a large number of rental units. So that's kind of where the for rent portion of this comes into. With 173 votes, we've identified a partial fix for this issue. We'll provide an update once we have more info about the scale of the fix. Won't mark this as fully resolved until we're confident we fix the issue as described by players in the post. And then white screen when loading into the world with 39. We're tracking this across PlayStation 4 and looking for more reports. I was gonna say I actually haven't loaded up my PS4 in a hot minute, but I actually don't have my PS4 anymore. Sometimes when console simmers like post in my comments like, hey, I'm having this issue, or like this is happening, I will check it out, and I usually do make like videos on those things, just because I feel like consoles are forgotten about a lot of the time, and it doesn't really feel like we have like a dedicated like space for console simmers. And so I kind of like want to raise those issues a little bit more. If this is not your experience with Foren and you continue to face issues that specifically relate to this pack, we'd like to receive info needed to investigate further. If you recognize an issue you're facing, please drop a comment or a vote. It really helps us prioritize what we tackle next. I say this all the time, but if you are currently facing bugs and issues within your game, go to the forums, see if someone's posted about it. Obviously, the easiest thing you can do is me to it. But I do also say they're quite hard to actually get around. I'm actually going to try and look this up. Fairies facial details not copying. Let's talk about a cool gameplay has been. See, it's so hard to like actually find what you're looking for. Is this just because I'm in like general and I need to be in help? I don't even know how this works. Like, this is the thing. It's so hard to like figure out what you are looking for. Sims 4, general discussion, feedback, creative corner, gameplay questions and issues, technical issues, PC, Mac, technical issues, console, mods and custom content, bug reports. Okay, I'm gonna go to bug reports and then I want to look up compiled list of reported issues. No, fairies wearing hats on nude outfits, beard being removed. No, basically I'm suffering with the issue of when I like create a fairy, their facial features aren't being carried over to their fairy form. Like, their fairy form looks completely different. Like, it's basically a different sim, and there is quite an easy fix, but like it shouldn't be happening anyway, and it's just like deleting the fairy form, like turning them into a human and then turning them back into a fairy. But that means that you lose like their wings, which is slightly annoying, especially when it's like a townie fairy that I'm just trying to give a makeover to. Oh my god, see, this is what I do. I think it's so much easier to find it on Google, which is so bad. Usually I wouldn't be like, just Google it, but genuinely it's so much easier to find. Occult form facial features don't match between occult and regular form. That is what I have. The facial features like eyes, chin, and cheeks I place my fairy sims won't match between their regular and fairy forms. Now, this is kind of what I'm talking about. This one is kind of difficult to see, but there's like one in particular where it's like, oh my god, that is like a completely different sim. That is so bad. That is such a stark difference. Like, the eyes, the nose, the eyebrows, everything about the sim, their cheeks and like jawline, everything about that sim is different. But it makes you sign in, which I think you can just use your like Origin EA account, and I've now upvoted it because that is what they actually focus on the most, are the ones that are the most like upvoted. If I wanted to, and if I wanted to be more helpful towards the team, I could also be like, hey, I've like taken out my mods and custom content, I've tested this, here are my screenshots, my fairies are still different. And I might actually do that because that's been a bug since Enchanted by Nature came out, and it's really starting to aggravate me. I went off topic, but basically that's what like the upvoting is, and that's what they will like prioritize. So if there's ever a bug you're really, really annoyed about, just go and upvote it. If you want to help them out more, share some more details. Turn off your mods and custom content. Test if it's still there in like a new save file so that you know it's not like a mods or CC issue. Let's look at what issues are impacting save files on The Sims 4 more broadly. Most severe issue would be if Sims 4 is completely unable to be opened and does not launch. If you feel as if your game has been doing that recently, especially after the latest update that we got, I want to say that there was a massive impact to mods and custom content in the latest update. If you have script mods specifically, like it played around the pack selection because turning off certain packs also plays with like the script, and there was basically like an override between that, which is why so many mods broke. A lot of them have been updated for the new patch, so make sure you have updated mods, and you also try and test without mods in your game, because I am like 99% sure if you have a broken mod or piece of CC, if you load up your game without mods and custom content, and before that it was just like taking you back to pick a house to like play in, choose a family, and it would just always take you back to that screen and not let you go into live mode, it's predominantly a mod issue after the latest update. Also, if you're like, hey, I have these packs and it's saying that I don't have these packs, that is an issue with OneDrive. Turn off your OneDrive. There's basically an issue that was introduced, I think, a couple of patches ago now, where your game was trying to read off your OneDrive instead of where the Sims actually probably is installed on your PC. I don't like OneDrive. I think OneDrive is messy. I don't ever use OneDrive. Literally, as soon as I get like a new PC or if I do a fresh install, I will turn off OneDrive because it just honestly drives me up the wall. OneDrive me up the wall so that I can repeatedly smack my head against it. I absolutely hate it. And that is most likely a OneDrive issue. So try and turn that off if you don't use OneDrive. Obviously, you're not going to miss it. And then see if your game loads normally. Those are just two issues that I've been hearing a lot about recently. I literally had it on my laptop the other day. My girlfriend was trying to play Sims on my laptop because I have all the packs and she doesn't. And it literally just like was not reading that we had any of the packs. And it was because of OneDrive. Turned it off, boom. All of the packs were there, didn't change anything about my game. Next type of serious issue is when a player is able to load the game but unable to load their save. Our investigation so far, we currently are aware of 6 issues that players correlate with save corruption. This is where we're investigating our focus to resolve. Game loads up initially, but the player is unable to make further progress, sees a white screen, game crashes, player gets stuck in infinite loading, receives error message, unable to load lots. We're looking for save files from players who don't use mods with 104 votes. Players report being stuck on an endless loading screen with 81 votes. Oh, when using lots from the gallery. And players report seeing load error 800-801 whilst playing with the game with 44 votes. We've been trying to reproduce this issue internally with no success and are looking for save files that exhibit this issue. If you're experiencing, please share your save file in the EA forum linked above. So this is really handy. Honestly, I kind of wish that they did this more and were like, hey, these are like what we're focusing on right now. If you want to like check out any of these, or if you've been suffering with any of these, here's the direct link that you need. And who knows, maybe the Discord channel is going to be for that. The game and save file loads, but the player reports that things are broken, which typically means builds, lots, items, or Sims are missing. Neighboring buildings are missing, 98 votes. Builds, lots disappearing, 85 votes. Furniture is floating with builds missing, 14. Important to note that just because these issues are not unique to For Rent, they may have connections to For Rent. She's still here disrupting our games 2 years after her release. That could be uncovered during investigation. You can expect us to share updates as we find them. Committed to investigating these issues and work towards making progress, alongside shipping fixes for other top community concerns. Before we release new content, we complete compliance tests across platforms and multiple levels of quality verification, including playtesting with Sims Team and a paid group of experienced Sims players from the community. We're unable to recreate every potential Sims scenario across the different combinations of packs, playstyles, devices before launch. Once it's been released, we utilize player feedback to understand what issues are being experienced by how many people and any patterns of what. See, I get that they focus on top priorities and like top community concerns, but it is annoying. Like, just from a personal perspective, it's like annoying when I notice like a bug or a glitch in like early access and then it's still there on release. But I guess like there's probably not enough time to fix it, but then they like don't address it. I think it would actually be really cool, even if they haven't managed to like fix things before the release. But if we're like now, this is a really nice line of communication. Can I just say, this is something that I personally have been asking for years. Like kind of putting it into simple terms, like not business speak, so that loads of players can understand it. Like obviously this is still difficult to sometimes wrap your head around, because it's just like, oh, if I'm not like facing that issue, it's kind of hard to imagine and like to kind of physically put that in my head of like what players are experiencing. But I do think this makes it much easier and like much more approachable for Sims players to be like, oh, that's what they're working on. That's how they're doing it. Like, I feel like we need more of this, which is why I personally would love if they did kind of a blog like this, kind of as soon as like a new pack came out that wasn't working the way that they wanted it to. And if the bugs that we actually like spoke about in our early access videos, or, you know, we flagged during early access, were also spoken about, like, hey, we didn't have time to fix this issue before the release, but we are aware of blah, 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 blah. Because I know that I talked about in my videos of like the facial presets being different on my fairy version and my regular version of my sim. And I just think that would be cool. I don't know. Let me know how you feel about that idea. EA, I'm just floating it out to you. I'm just testing the waters. Experienced how many people and any patterns of what might be causing them to aid our resolution. Another variable is if players use mods in CC. We're unable to test these in our pre-launch testing. Some mods come with permissions that modify save file structure, which can have unintended consequences out of our control. Best practices for mod players here, which include disabling mods before any update, back up your save files, back up your tray files, your save files. What's the other important one that you should always back up in The Sims 4? Tray, screenshots, saves, mods. But I just take the whole Sims 4 and I back up everything onto an actual like physical hard drive, not just onto my desktop, because I've been burned by that before as well. If you're experiencing something that's impacting your ability to play the game that's not on these lists, we want to hear about it. And if you're unable to get your Sims 4 game to load or have a save file you cannot open anymore, we want to hear from you and review that save file. We've created this new thread for any reports that the game is not functioning as expected, and we want to capture the full situation. Fixing old issues and addressing new ones are both equally important to our team and to players. Whilst many continue to play without interruption, we understand experiencing these issues is frustrating, and we remain committed to making progress against them. Continue to update players via Sims Direct on X and Discord and through our laundry list and patch notes. Plus, we've seen players ask for information on how to back up saves and improve overall gameplay performance, which we will be sharing soon. Sharing soon? I can do that right now. So what you're gonna want to do is go to Documents, Electronic Arts, click on The Sims 4, and then if you do download mods or custom content, that's gonna be really easy for you because this is your mods folder right here. Usually I'll just go into my Electronic Arts folder, right click on The Sims 4 in there, and then just copy and then paste that over onto my hard drive. Or you can do it this way. You can make a Sims 4 folder and you can just like click and drag these or copy and paste them over to your hard drive, and then you'll have a copy. Like I said, really the most important ones that you need are mods, saves, screenshots if you're bothered about them, and tray. Tray is basically where like all of your gallery stuff is saved. So if you have like a lot of families, a lot of houses saved on your gallery, that's what you need for your tray folder. Saves are obviously all the game saves that you've started. Screenshots are screenshots, and then if you are a mods and custom content player, you're probably going to want to back that up as well. Boom, easy peasy. I actually have a full video going over like how you just copy and paste it onto a hard drive. If you don't have a physical hard drive, your desktop, you can obviously copy it onto your desktop as well. Just be careful with that, because if your computer implodes, or, you know, there's a lot of issues that you can have with tech, you probably are going to use those files. So I'm always the person that says back it up on like Google Drive or like iCloud, wherever. Back it up onto a physical hard drive is always the best. If you only have like a USB that's available to you, and maybe those files are small enough for you personally to fit on a USB, that is fine. Just make sure you have a hard copy somewhere of those 4 very important files. But like I said, usually I will just take this whole Sims 4 folder, copy it, and paste it onto my hard drive. But I will link a video in the description going over that in more detail if you want to see the step-by-step. I mean, definitely easier to follow. Nice to know that they are still working on it. Still do think it's going to take time, which is infuriating, I know, for those players who are experiencing it. However, I'm glad that they've done this. I'm glad that they've opened up this line of communication. Like I said, last week's video was me just like yapping on about how I feel like we're in Simbo right now. That's Sims Limbo, you know? And we're not getting The Sims 5, but also loads of issues seem to be going on with The Sims 4, and they just gave us that like pack remover, and it's like, okay, where are we? Like, what are we aiming for here? And if you haven't watched that video, feel free to go check it out. There's definitely things that I want to see changed when it comes to the production of The Sims 4, most of which I talked about in said video. But I do like that they have given this in like common terms, not really like business speak, not like shareholder speak, and they've actually basically watered it down for players like me to understand what they are getting up to, how they go about this, and I think we need that direct line of communication. And just to remind you, that feedback area of Discord opened up on Friday, so I will leave a link to their Discord down below if you want to go join. Like I said, you can like mute everything if you want, apart from like the announcements channel and maybe that feedback. It would be good if they put surveys maybe in its own channel so that you could also be alerted for new surveys. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope this video was helpful, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.